After 23 years, Mrs. Kevin Yale Vernon is reaching the final act of her career, with the veteran teacher retiring at the end of the year. Theater director and English teacher are roles Vernon cast herself later in life, after a career outside of education.
I firmly believe you should reinvent yourself anytime you feel like it. I mean, I changed jobs, I changed where I live, I frequently change my hair color. I just think that if you want to try something, life is fleeting. Somehow, the older you get, the faster it goes. And you should never pass up an opportunity to try something. Maybe it'll be the wrong choice. Maybe it'll be a wrong idea. Okay. Just keep going.
And reinvent herself she did, leaving a job fundraising for public radio to focus on something that had always been a part of her life, the theater. Vernon's love of the art and craft of acting would take center stage in her life.
Anything that I have done, the fact that theater has been central to my life, even when I was a fundraiser for public radio or the many, many other things I have done, that was always just something that never ceased to be important to the core of who I am.
Teaching communities acting and directing classes and directing the theater program is a role Vernon was always born to play, Miss Meg Keogh said.
It makes sense that she's the theater teacher because she knows drama. I mean, she's just like, she is such a performer in the classroom. She is like the biggest hug of chaos and joy. I mean, she just does her own thing, and it's so great. I mean,
Keogh should know. She was once a student in Vernon's class, an actor under her direction. Now, Keogh co-teaches alongside Vernon and serves as the veteran assistance director.
With her, but I've never known this building without her, and it's just going to be really strange because she's just someone that I confide in with a lot, and who has always, for years now, has just kind of been a mentor. So like, it's going to be really hard not having her here.
While Vernon has taught generations of thespians how to hit their marks and deliver their lines, it is that mentorship role Vernon seems to excel at. According to senior Abby Rademacher, Vernon's most memorable lessons extend beyond the stage, lessons like how they handle setbacks.
It's like at first when she would give me like direction notes and saying like maybe this should be better in this way, I would like be sad and like obviously because it's hard to take that criticism, but like learning that like it's okay to mess up and it's okay to like learn and grow from it. So I've become a lot more tough because of her.
With Vernon, you have to be tough, as she has a reputation for not pulling her punches, for being blunt and not always sugarcoating her feedback to her performers. But according to Miguel Patino, she can also be a master of line delivery.
So one of her traits I admire is being able to speak so eloquently with witty jokes and stuff like that, but still make it clear that she's standing on business.
Serious. There might not be a better word to describe how Vernon takes her responsibility as community theater's director. And she has to, because in her eyes, acting is a team sport.
Theater is all about sharing. It's something you can't do unless you all do it together. It's something, if you're really great at it, but the person who's working with you is phoning it in, it doesn't work. So it's just one of those things that is very much about collaborating, very much about working together, very much about trusting each other to work together. And so that's just really joyous to see that move on.
Learning to be present, to listen, to engage are all skills Vernon teaches to help students succeed on stage, but that carry over into their everyday lives as well. Skills like communication, Sophia Harkey said.
And she's like kind of helped me like communicate better with people, like after rehearsal, just like if we had a rough day, like I can kind of just go and like, I don't know, like it's grown my friendships for sure. And like definitely as an actress too, I would say she knows how to get like the best part of me.
And making connections, like senior Brody Osborne said.
She's helped me to be more outgoing because when I first started theater, I was very scared and I didn't know what to really do. But she would always come talk to me, and so would like 4 of my best friends that I used to have at theater. And it just helped me grow and be more outgoing and get to know everybody there.
Those lessons haven't always come easy.
You don't get better unless you learn and unless you try.
But Vernon thinks the results are worth the struggle, especially when it comes to creative pursuits.
And just the act of being creative, whatever way it is, whether you sing, whether you draw, whether you act, whether you are someone who creates a light design, whether you are someone who creates a building, that is just so important to being human, I think. And if you do it as an amateur, the more power to you, because you are doing it because it's important to you. And I love that. I just love that.
Over the years, through Students on Stage, Winter One Acts, Shakespeare Shorts, and the Fall and Winter Plays, what Vernon has built is a legacy of theatrical excellence.
There's sadness that she's gone, but then there's also worry about like what's gonna happen to the program.
She's like the
after
glue.
she's gone. She is, and like she's put a lot of hard work in.
We think about the future of the program without her because it's like she made the program, she made it as amazing as it is, so we think about the future, but luckily I think it's in good hands. Like, she set us up pretty well.
Next season, Miss Cassie Adelman is set to take the reins of the theater
I
program.
met the person who's taking over, and I love her. She's the greatest. But, like, it's definitely nerve-wracking because, like, it's a really big change from my senior year, and it definitely won't be the same without her. But, like, it'll still be good, but it's just definitely different. So that's a big change to have to think about and get used to.
There's something a little poetic in it all. Vernon's role as a teacher, a director, a performance iconic and memorable, but also fleeting. Her impact is perhaps mirroring the way she sees acting on stage itself.
I always say, usually on opening night, that never be ashamed to be called an amateur actor or to be doing amateur theater, because amateur, if you go back to its Latin root, comes from amar, to love, like amorous or amor or whatever, same root, and therefore that means that amateur is someone who does something for the love of it. And there is no better reason to do something than for the love of it. It's about creativity. It's about how you can do something really good, and just for that moment it exists, and then it's gone, but it was yours.
When the final curtain falls and the lights come up, audiences might not remember what was said on stage, but they remember how they felt. They are left with an unshakable impression.
That she's done magic and wonders to so many people, including me.